Hey guys, tonight I wanted to give you sort of a quick rundown on lapping your valves. You have your valves, got your cylinder head. Now this needs to be all taken apart. You have to take your valve springs off, get everything cleaned up good. This is the cylinder head here from a 1990 Suzuki DR350. It was super grimy, really nasty. The exhaust ports here were just at least solid millimeter of carbon buildup. Valves were no better off. You couldn't even see the face of the valve here. You know, that's the first step. Obviously you need to get your top end disassembled, got to get your valves out. It's going to be a little different for every engine. This is, you know, pretty simple example here with the DR350, but it's going to apply to a lot of engines. So I used some paint stripper and a whole lot of carb cleaner and a whole lot of brass brushes and a whole lot of patience, a little bit of simple green. Soaked it in the paint thinner and scrubbed it. Used a little seafoam towards the end to you know, get some of the last remnants, and it was nasty. Looks so much better now. Maybe I'll get some before photos up in the video here. If you've got grime and carbon and soot and oil buildup covering your valves, you don't want to try to lap them. You got to clean them up first. So get everything disassembled, and you got to keep track of which valve goes to which port. So I actually put some numbers on here on the top with some paper labels. After all the cleaning, it's gone. You know, luckily I kind of kept track of which went to which, and I took some safety wire and actually clipped on the ends here, and then did one twist for valve 1, 2 twists for valve 2, 3 twists for valve 4, and kept them all separately. So I keep track of the parts here. So got springs, valves, so when it goes back together I know exactly what goes where. Now you're going to pull off your oil seals. These cannot be reused. Definitely need to get some new ones. These are the valve oil seals. They're going to be, you know, going over the valve stem here, so I just kept these in here for I don't know why. Keep everything organized. It's probably a better way of keeping track of this stuff. This just works for me. See, I put 4 twists here, 3 twists here on 3, and cat hair or something. I don't even have a red cat or an orange cat. I don't know what that is. So yeah, organization is important, and then you're good to lap. So what you'll need to lap here, obviously everything ready and disassembled. Need your valves out. I've already done one here. I did a little bit on this, so I'm just going to sort of go through the basic process. You get your valves out and you get yourself some valve grinding compound. It's a Permatex valve grinding compound, pretty standard stuff. They make a rougher grit and then a finer grit, and some people might want to do the rougher and then the finer. This, from, you know, everything I have heard, everything that I've learned, is it's fine. Also get a small section of, this is some fuel hose here. We're going to use this to actually spin the valve once we get it in there. A couple of clean cloths. Good to have some gloves on, so you don't have to handle this stuff. You know, a lot of people, they just slap it all over themselves, but you know, silicon carbide, ethylene glycol, do not swallow, induce vomiting, flush with water, skin contact 15 minutes. If you're overcome with fumes, you know, don't get near, yeah. So gloves, pretty cool. Pretty simple here. Get your valve, get your lapping, or get your grinding compound here. You're ready to start lapping. Get a nice clean good workspace here set up. Definitely go much better than I have here. Get a little bit of that grinding compound on your finger, and then take your valve, just apply a little bit of it. You don't need much. I probably have way too much here, and but you know, you can't go overboard. It's better to have a little too much, I think, than not enough. So having a little extra on there is not going to hurt. There, so like that, and then take put a little bit here around the valve seat. Just dab a little on the valve seat there. Yeah, already got enough on the valve here, so it should be okay. Once you got it on there, go ahead and drop it down into the valve guide. There we go. and then hold it from the bottom. Take that little section of fuel hose you got there and slide it on top. Don't jam it way down there. You don't need it like all the way down. It's good to have a little bit of room so you can kind of go up and down. So now once you got your fuel hose on, you're just going to start to lap and spin it sort of like you would start a fire, you know, with a stick. Like anybody actually starts fires like that, but you know, like in the movies when they need to start a fire and they do this. So now we got our fuel hose next to our valve. We've got some grinding compound on there, and you know, maybe not the best situation here for this. Whatever works for you. You know, you just need to have some good leverage. You want it to have a little bit of pressure on there, so I like having the weight of the valve down on the seat. And then you take your fuel hose here, just like that. It's like you're starting a fire. Just like you're spinning a stick, because that's what you're doing. So, listen to the sound that it makes. It starts off pretty rough. You can hear it kind of smooth out towards the end. It kind of gets quiet. You don't hear that scratching. It's starting to wear the grinding compound down, push it out of where it's actually seating. So then you just kind of like go back up the top. You can hear it again. I've got a little bit of downward pull just to keep it, you know, some friction in there. Pretty fucking boring, but yeah, it's worth it. It's like meditating. Now, once you've done it for a while here, half a minute or so, you might start to notice that you aren't getting much scratch. Starting to wear that grinding compound down. Okay, so maybe a little longer, but so the valve doesn't fall out of there. Get a little twist and pull, and there we go. Okay, so just kind of loosely wipe off what you got on there. That seat out. Shazam! Okay, so that's just 2 runs in here, and you probably can't see it super well, but what I'm going to do is kind of get it angled in the light and inspect the valve where you have just lapped it to look for changes in the color, and the reflection of the light will really help indicate what the surface is like. Now, even if you have the best eyes in the world, you can't see all the little imperfections on the surface here. So, ideally, you're going to have super CE up closey glasses. Yeah. So, if you have a really cool, nerdy wife like I do, and she buys you some of these, you're stoked. But, you know, magnifying glass works fine, or just really, really close inspection under the right lighting, you know, will be okay. For the most part, you just want to get these clean, smoothed out. Doesn't have to necessarily be absolutely perfect. A tiny little bit of pitting is probably not going to make a big difference, because this whole surface here, unless the pit runs across this whole surface that you've lapped here, that's going to be an issue. But if it's just a tiny little speck here and there, and you've lapped it multiple times, and you feel like it's just too deep or whatever the case is, we'll either get new valves or just run it like that. When you've got aberrations in the surface here that run all the way from the top down, then you're going to start to get some leakage. So, but put your super, I guess that's not the technical name, watchmakers glasses, jewelers goggles, jewelers magnifying glasses, whatever they're called. These things are amazing, and you can just see everything. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah. And it's looking pretty good, actually. You've got something like this. You can really see the surface here up close, and you can see all the tiny little aberrations, any little pits, scars, or anything. And so it does not have to be perfect, but magnifying glass or something like these jewelers' eyeballs, invaluable. So inspect after you've lapped. If you see anything that makes you unhappy, run through the process again, and do that a few times until you are happy. And obviously inspect the seat as well. So you need to get up super close with these. You know, I wish I had captured this with the camera. Let's see. So you're now in the zone. Yeah, this really is ridiculous. I'm sure you can't see anything. Anyway, there it is. These are awesome. Once you're happy with it, looks smooth, awesome, you're done with that valve. Anyway, move on to the next. Keep them organized, keep them in the right place, don't lose track, and just work your way around and until they're nice and shiny smooth. Shazam. Okay, when you're done, a little bit of carb cleaner or whatever suits your fancy, clean everything up good. There it is. I hope that helped. Thanks for watching.